Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another installment of the State of FEH Podcast. We're on our 26th episode now. I'm your host, DTM, and I'm joined with, as always, Oblivion and Joel from Phaeology. How are you two doing this fine evening?
Pretty good. Pretty interesting little month we've had. And, having Tellius at the top of the meta is always nice.
Yes. Tellius finally gets their chance to shine. And, of course, it's Ike.
I didn't think I'd ever be putting these two words together, but I'm getting whiplash fatigue. the swing back to the Omnitank meta was swift and hard. It's been interesting.
Yeah, definitely interesting, and we do have a lot to talk about that. And obviously, what better way to talk or to start by talking about the first item on our list in chronological order. We have Emblem Ike. Our predictions were correct. It was Emblem Ike that was the emblem hero. And I know we reacted to it on stream, Oblivion. What were your thoughts when you heard that first note of the music?
I was like, oh god, my wallet's dead. Not again. They have been hitting me nonstop, every single month almost since September. And I'm just like, I could use a break, please.
Yeah. You haven't plus 10'd him yet, right?
No. The share wasn't that great for me because I already have Valencia at plus 10. And when the second I saw that Marth was sharing, which I made a joke about, I was very not thinking that would happen. But that's the best share ever, right? How can you turn that down? You know what I mean? So I was like, nope, I'll wait.
Yeah, Marth plus Ike plus, is it Kavaser, I think, sharing?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, good fodder. She's good fodder.
Yeah.
But the thing there is we talk about units that you want to plus 10 right now, and that list is growing smaller and smaller. I was even looking at scoring. You used to want to plus 10 duos because they were good scoring units, and they've kind of shifted to where they're good, but they're not top of the food chain anymore. You got a lot of armors that meet that criteria. Emblems are units that are good to plus 10. They serve a lot of different roles for you, and the extra stats can really help you on different units.
Absolutely, yeah. They're probably up there. If you don't have your mythics merged yet, then maybe mythics have more value, but other than that, it's probably emblems.
Yeah, because you did mention it, there's not a lot of reason to plus 10 a lot of units these days. Plus 4 to all stats obviously is valuable, but not as valuable as, say, getting the latest fodder or things like that. And so, unless it's specifically for scoring or something you can distribute in a wide variety of modes, investment-wise, it's often just not worth it. I will say, even though I do think Emblem Heroes obviously are good projects to plus 10, they're definitely not necessary to plus 10 compared to, say, Mythics, if you wanted to score well, or Legendaries back in the old days of Arena. Ike, being an Omnitank, does scale very well individually as a plus 10, so there is that benefit for plus 10ing Ike, but it's definitely not necessary by any means.
Yeah, I agree. If it wasn't Ike, I wouldn't be plus 10ing, right? Marth, if I get to Marth plus 10, it's just because I had bad luck, pretty much.
Bad luck.
Or bad
average.
Good luck. Bad good luck, right?
Average
Much
luck.
better than having Kavaser.
Yeah. I mean, average, you should get a plus 10 of all of them while going to it.
I hope it doesn't. Please, show mercy.
The nice thing about the emblems is that you can take your time. There's no real rush there, unless you're impatient like me. But that's a different story altogether.
Yeah, you and Kanakos.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, though. I mean, you have Mythics. They're number one on the list, and I mean, the next one is way down compared to that. But I think you have Emblem Heroes, and I think that's the next one.
Yeah. And as an F2P person, honestly, that's pretty nice, right? Not having to wade through the gacha to get a plus 10 unit, summoning 11 copies to be able to compete. Ether rates will get there at some point. But yeah, it's interesting direction. What were your thoughts on Emblem Ike, Joel, when like he was first revealed in the trailer?
There was, actually each of us, I think individually have talked about this, but there are so many things going on in kits now that it's really hard to tell how good the units are until you actually get them, into the arena or the Aether Rays or wherever you're playing with them. And that was one of those things. I was reading off this just laundry list, and I'm like, I think this is really good. But it turns out it was excellent. I am very curious how the meta adapts, and I'm very curious what they give us. Right now, I think there are more counters than we're giving Ike credit for. I've seen a lot of Fatal Smoke 3 going around, and that is a cheaper option, although still premium. And that definitely helps quite a bit. In Chaos Season, have you guys run into him in Chaos Season yet?
Yeah,
he's defense or offense?
On both. I've seen him on both. He's really good on both, which is stupid.
I've seen him a lot on
better.
Offense. Yeah.
I think he's better on defense in Chaos Season, which is weird.
Really?
He can be fairly tanky and can definitely stalemate folks. Way better than Edelgard ever could, that's for sure.
I mean, I will say I am a bit biased since I do have an AoE Golvec team as one of like my main teams, but on defense, I've never found like Emblem Ike to be a particularly issue because I guess this goes back to like one of his main weaknesses. One of Emblem Ike's main weakness is the fact that he is relatively weak to AoEs, right? Like none of his damage reduction does anything to AoEs, and even though he does have penalty neutralization, that doesn't take into effect when the AoE hits, and so you can still like debuff and panic him to be able to increase the AoE damage. And so honestly, like that is one of the main ways I've found people have been dealing with him. There's this super funny meme where it was like the Into the Spider-Verse wasn't really that simple, and it was just using any AoE nuke. And so
but you have to go into that bringing some sort of Ike counter, and right now it's an AoE or it's another Ike. So that's kind of crazy.
A lot of people in like the competitive server were talking about like how a lot of the Ike counters aren't very universal. Like they're very specialized to kill Ike, and a lot of times they aren't very good against other things. And so it's kind of interesting because you can do like a dual raid boss team where they have different weaknesses, and it becomes very annoying for the opponent to deal with. Like it's like, oh, here's my Ike killing counter. Now I need something else to deal with the other Omnitank who's really powerful as well. So I don't know. I feel like when it comes to Ike overall, right? Like the interesting thing about him compared to Marth is that Marth, the ring, right? The ring is really, really, really good. I think we can all agree on that. Like, it's just a universally powerful ring, and I think it's better than Ike's ring. But Ike himself is a better unit by a lot, in my opinion, and his fodder is way better than like Lagoose Friend 4 blows Potent out like the wall. Like, it's not even close.
Absolutely.
So, I think he himself has brought more change to the meta than Marth has, even though Marth's ring is more universally powerful.
Right, because like
oh, go ahead. I think his changes were more dramatic. Like that's giving slaying is something that's kind of subtle, and it's very good on a wide range of units. Lagoose Friend 4 isn't good on every unit, but on the units it's good at, it is night and day difference how they perform. Legendary Corrin is the one that's running around now, and man, she is so good with that. So, and Ike as a unit, I can't even, yes, definitely. Ike is definitely a better unit than Marth.
It's insane, because like when I read his description, like, because there's so much, right? I had to like break it all down, and it's like, okay, his his non-pierceable damage reduction is at base 30%. That's what Altina has, right? Altina's is luckily AoE too, so there's like some kind of like, advantage she has. But then you look at the maximum, it's 70%. You're like, 70% non-pierceable damage reduction? What was IS thinking?
I don't know.
I guess they heard me complaining about how bad Radiant Ether was for like 4 years. So they're like, hey.
This is Oblivion's uncle works at Nintendo, the reveal.
I actually think so. Like, I actually think somebody's like, I don't think actually anyone's listening to me, but like, I've been saying stuff and they have been doing it. I'm like, Ike his special sucks. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna fix it. And I'm like, I really need you guys to put out a really bad Fate Spanner. And they're like, okay, we'll do it. And I'm like, thank God. Like,
and yeah, we'll get to that Fate Spanner later, but I want to circle back to a Lugu's friend. You mentioned like the units, if they are able to use it well, like excel extremely well. Obviously, we mentioned Legendary Corrin. Are there any units other than that you think like was a real standout when it comes to using that skill?
I think there's like 2 other that come off the top of my head that are like really, really powerful, and that's Brave Dimitri, like as a generalist like Omnitank role. But the other one that I think is still being slept on a little bit is Duo Asker. Duo Asker is really, really scary with that skill, especially when you combine it with Brave Soren. I don't know if you guys have seen that raid boss team where it's like Brave Soren, Duo Asker with Lugu's Friend 4, and Ashnard as a near save. That team is horrifying. It is so difficult to deal with.
I've seen it. It is very powerful, and that's the other thing. And in that vein, bulky nukes in general really like that skill. Emir, Duo Emir is another one, although not as good as Asker. I think Asker's probably the best. I like it on Duo Crom as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's interesting when you have units like Asker or Crom who can use big cooldowns, but like be very efficient with them because they have ways to like lower the cooldown by themselves, right? So
yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
I haven't actually heard about that dual Crom tech with the Goose Friend. I need to like research that because that sounds super interesting. I'm not gonna fodder my only Ike for that, obviously, but who knows? If I free summon another one, you know, that could be something I could do.
I need like 12 more Ikes so I can like kill 2.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is definitely something I need.
I'm about to turn like every infantry like duplicator into like a Lugu's Friend duplicator essentially.
Okay. Do you think like we mentioned like a bunch of those ranged units, do you think there are like melee units that could do this? What? Because like I remember we were talking about like potentially Diamant during our reaction, or like units like that. Do you think that they are particularly standout users, or are they still fairly lackluster even with this new skill?
I mean, Diamant's good. Like he definitely got a lot better, but like the problem with him is like. So the thing is, like, when we talk about damage reduction, we always talk about, like, non-pierceable versus pierceable. But the other thing we have to talk about is percentage versus flat, right? Those are the other two. And you really want to combine percentage with flat DR because you want to get, like, the big chunk of damage off and then have flat remove it down to 0. And so with Diamant, he doesn't really have access to good percentage DR. You have to use, like, a defensive special, essentially. So,
or you can use the Ike ring now.
Exactly.
It's all coming together.
Right. You can use the Ike ring as well. It's just like that's only once per combat. It's still really, really good, obviously, but I don't think he's at the same level as like Asker or like Brave Dimitri even.
I'd put him a tier down. I spent about 2 hours running through sims on Omnitanks, which is especially ridiculous since I wasn't actually doing a video on it. It just like rabbit hole. I was like, oh, I wonder what this does. I mean, think about how far up Diamant has traveled though to be in the conversation. And I think that's what we have to consider. Like it took a unit that was basically off the map that we had written off and is now, oh, this unit's actually pretty good with this. So, I mean, in that regards, Diamant has gotten a lot better. He still doesn't stand quite as high as, well, the list you just put out.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, like, it's kind of difficult to be an Omnitank still. Like, obviously, it's a lot better now. There's a lot more versatility and options thanks to Ike. But even still, like, the difference between, like, the top and, like, even the tier below or tier below that is, like, pretty big. You know what I mean? Like, it's, the new units just have, like, so much. It's kind of ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Right. And, like, go ahead.
I'll say the last thing is, like, the funniest thing is that Ike isn't at max power yet, right? Like, he technically needs another Emblem Ring to be at max power, so we have to wait for like another tanky Emblem Ring to come out, and then he might be even better.
That is true.
Oh god.
Exactly. Here's the AoE damage reduction ring, Ike.
I unironically really like that, if just for my Valentine's Lucina. Like, we need better AoE damage reduction sources other than Goto, because Goto is like really bad.
We really don't.
I was gonna say, I think we have good options, and like we don't really we have like Lumera and Goto, and that's enough for AR. When it comes to SD, I don't know if I really want to hand out AoE DR to everyone without making it a pain in the butt, because like, I don't want to deal with that.
I'm worried it'll be the Katria situation where everyone wished the end of Katria, and now we're seeing what the end of Katria looks like, and we're like, oh wait, she wasn't that bad. Bring her back.
That's why I've seen people bringing her back too. Like they're like, oh god, like I need a quad. I don't care if it's not that good. Let me have it.
In the end, it'll all come back to Katria. Mark my words. But that's what else.
New Katria.
Yeah, a Katria with like more efficient triangle attack that isn't blocked by element or something. That would be amazing.
It's like triangle attack, but it also gives you like damage reduction piercing, like full damage reduction piercing.
Yes, or like Camilla's effect as well within that.
Oh god, jeez.
I mean, I was the biggest Katria apologist out there, and when like people started complaining about like the death of Katria, I was like, I told y'all. Like Katria was actually the great equalizer, folks.
Yes, definitely, 100%.
All right. Circling back, we did mention this briefly, but we do know that Ike obviously does have a lot of non-pierceable DR. A lot of the most highly sought out after Omnitanks have a lot of non-pierceable DR. It seems like there's been a rise in the amount of non-pierceable DR that we've had, whether it's from baked in from specials like Godlike Reflexes or Great Ether, or just other sources. I guess, what are your thoughts on that trend that we have been seeing?
I mean, it's like the typical IS pattern, right? They introduce a problem, it gets really bad. Here's the solution. Let me sell it to you, right? Sell it for a while. Now that's the new problem. Let's sell you the new solution, right? So like, I think it's only a matter of time until we get, a way to pierce non-pierceable DR. That's no longer really called that anymore. I don't know what to call it, but that just seems to be their typical pattern. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see that like maybe by Choose Your Legends or by the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't even take that much to do that, because right now all of the effects that pierce DR specifically mention that it does not affect like DR in specials. And so, like, it'll just be removing that clause that would,
just
like...
that one word.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Like, oh, man.
What are we going to even call that? I don't even... Like, we're running out of names here.
True damage.
I think we, as a fake community, need to, like, get together and hash out a better set of terminology, because like true damage reduction, I still see that to refer to flat damage reduction. It just like drives me nuts. It's like yeah like, I
mean, it would be really great if Intelligent Systems did that, for their own game. That would be amazing.
That is true, and that would actually fix all the problems. But like,
exactly,
that does not excuse us as a community for always choosing terrible names for stuff. So
we've been doing better, kind of, right? Like, I don't know. Special jump still sounds terrible, even though I'm the one that kind of like got that going. Like, man, I wish I thought something better.
But what else do you call it? That's the thing. Like, we're grasping at straws here. There are a lot of different effects.
I actually like special jump. Like, it's explanatory. It's short to the point. Yeah, I like it, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know. The word jump just for some reason like makes me think of something completely different. But I mean, I think burn damage is pretty good. Like that's a decent.
Yeah, burn damage or chip damage. Thankfully, I haven't been seeing as much pre-combat damage as I have like 2 months ago. So that's good. I think we spread the propaganda.
Phoenix Master adopting the burn damage helped, I think, a lot.
Yes.
There were too many pre-combats.
Yes.
Pre-combat damage, post-combat damage.
I mean, it's even pre-combat damage. Like, that is a lie, because it's in combat. It's just at the start of combat. And so,
right, exactly.
I mean, it's before you have the combat damage, so it is pre-combat damage.
All right, don't try to justify that, Joel.
Oh my gosh, it sounds like we're playing Magic the Gathering or something. It's like 12 steps before you get to combat. Jeez.
We're entering the Yu-Gi-Oh meta that we've always wanted.
For real.
Absolutely.
You declare blockers? Okay, no. Okay, let's do this. Oh my gosh, stop.
So,
anyway,
but What I want is an expansion of their little in combat effects that they have that little exclamation point for that has just been amazing for the game. Like, great job, IS. Do that more. Like, that is what we need.
For every weapon. Do that for every weapon.
Yes.
Just put like NFU, and when you click on it, it tells you the condition for the NFU. Like, please.
Yeah, like
they have the system. Like, it's there.
Yes.
I'm
like in Copium land where like it's all coming soon, right? Like it's right around the corner, guys. Just hold out.
Yeah, I mean they've started some of it. Like they have like the toggle where like you no longer see like the expanded descriptions, you just see like the keywords and stuff. But they need like more systemized keywords for effects. And I mean it's hard to do that because there's a lot of different conditions for these effects, and so. It's not as easily systemized as something like Legends of Runeterra or something. R.I.P. I'll miss you. But like,
wait, did it die?
Competitive died basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a story for another time.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
But yeah, like there probably is some solution that we can make for that to ease the readability of like these effects.
Definitely need that's like one of the biggest things, like that, and like making a much more friendly entrance to the game. Like I think those two things combined would definitely bring in new players, which is like one of the big things Faye needs.
I think they should also just utilize like paragraphs and bullet points more. Like there's in the trailers they have paragraphs like separated, but like in the actual game it's just all one long run-on paragraph. It's like so weird. But yeah.
I'm an engineer, so do bullet points just constantly everywhere. Like we talk in bullet points. That is Please more of those.
For real. Oh my gosh.
I guess to round off our discussion on Emblem Ike, since that was our original topic, I think, would we agree that Emblem Ike is the best Omnitank, or at least one of the best Omnitanks right now? And like, who would like stand with him?
I mean, I think Joel, you did like a little tier list in your videos, and I think I agree mostly. Is like I think he's obviously the best Omnitank. I do think there are units who are, close, but I definitely think he's the best at the moment, at least.
And we talked about this, but like between us, I mean that is, I think Altina is definitely in the same tier, and I put a legendary male Alir in there, although I think he's definitely third in that list. But I still have them in that same, like they're the same tier, but Ike is clearly the best. There's not really a question there.
Right.
I've seen some talks of people preferring legendary male Alir to Ike, which was very interesting to read about. I guess like that. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, he has advantages, right? Like I think that's the thing, is like the reason why they're in the same tier is that each of them have different advantages over each other. But I think overall Ike like has the most synergistic Omnitank kit. And I think the fact that you have NCD built into your weapon means that like that B slot being open is so massive for Omnitanks. Having to run NCD4 is not great, because like it's just it's not up to par compared to something like Lagoose Friend 4, which is like absurd, right? Like you get DR piercing, you get flat DR, you get true damage, right? Like and you get special jump. Like it's beyond any of the other tier 4 skills like we currently have for tanking at the moment.
Even look at something like Bulwark. Bulwark Force is really a great skill, but if you don't have NCD, then it's tough to run.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, Bulwark honestly has like sort of been flying under the radar in the greater community about how good that skill is. Like the healing and obstruct is just very, very powerful for like any Omnitank team, because like obviously one of the main ways to deal with Omnitank's team is to not deal with the Omnitank, to deal with the support. Well, Bulwark makes that a lot harder. So this is just all coming back to a past meta. Like we're going to get past Echo skills soon. Trust.
I think you're right. I don't think it would break the meta. Like I think that would be fine. I think pass would be fun.
It would be fun.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we're not talking about Myrrh, because Myrrh was like a while ago, but like, man, that unit has put in so much work. It's like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. if I don't like engage turn 1 to a Mer defense, it's just like basically over for Gale Force, essentially.
It's very, very frustrating.
Back to the Ike thing, look at the way the meta has had to respond to him versus what they had to do for Legendary Milliliter. Like it's night and day the backflips people have to go through. So that's the last thing I'd say there. If you look at what people have had to do to deal with that unit, it is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it kind of feels like we went back in time to like Brave Ike, right? Like when Brave Ike first came out.
Absolutely.
Like, I think people forget how strong he really was. Like people had to completely change their defenses to have red units with Hardy Bearing or like Axe Breaker or stuff like that to get around him. Like, because if you didn't, you just lost. And I feel like that's the same way now.
Yeah.
Axe Breaker.
Axe Breaker, Hardy Parry. Or Micaiah, like the dancer Micaiah. I remember. Those were the good times. Good times.
Back when Tellius was the king of the meta.
Yep. Or back now. I mean, Awakening's doing its best to ruin it, but it's
Yeah. Speaking
let's just
of
say there's
Awakening,
a traitor amongst the Awakening kids.
Yes. Yeah, the Young Awakening banner did get released, and honestly, this banner was like so good for me. Like, I always wanted like the young version of like the royal family with Lissa, Emmeryn, and Chrom, and I don't know, but the young female Robin and Chrom duo just like healed my soul. Honestly, all the fan art I've seen about it is just absolutely amazing. On the banner itself, we did have quite the interesting units. I guess we could start with young male Robin, who is the traitor, I will say, giving the rally spectrum to Emblem Ike. Like, what's his deal, right?
I was thinking of like that Star Wars meme where like Obi-Wan Kenobi is like, you were supposed to fix the Force, not like like the female duo Robin comes in and she's like, I'm like hard counter Ike, and then male Robin's over in the corner just giving him drive spectrum. Like, nah, ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, Brave Robin always had a really, really good effect. The only problem was that like he was melee infantry, which if you're not like one of the best Omnitanks, it's kind of over for you. But like this one is actually ranged, and therefore like you can easily slot him in so many teams. And yeah, that skill on a usable unit is really, really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Have either of you have you two summoned on this banner? Have you gotten young male Robin, or have you just seen him in action?
Yeah, so I had to go to Spark. I got Duo Robin on Spark, and then I kept going to get Male Robin. I did not get Emmeryn, unfortunately, which I was very not happy about because I wanted to play with Magic Shield Plus.
Yes, Emmeryn was so good. We could talk about that afterwards, but yeah, oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's like really looks fun. Like she's one of those like really unique units, kind of like rearmed Florina, where like you see some people using it very rarely, but when they do use it, it does like really cool things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or not rearmed, ascended Florina.
Yeah, ascended.
I always get her and Tana confused for some reason.
Honestly,
I think we talk a lot about power creep on the on this, but I think this is like the kind of power creep we want. All of these were really interesting units. Even Robin, I don't think it's just isn't just absolutely meta breaking, the duo one, but I think she does a lot of really fun things and can be fun in the right player's hands, and I like her a lot. I think she's an excellent unit.
I'm gonna take the opposite stance to get people mad at me, like all the Awakening fans as usual. I am so tired of Chrom. Like,
okay, all right.
We get legendary Chrom, right, and it's fine. We get legendary Chrom. He's really good. And we have a few years of that, and then all of a sudden Duochrome comes out, and Intelligence Systems is like, we just made $1 billion off this Duochrome. You know what we should do? Print more Chroms. And so they print Fallen Chrom, and then Brave Chrom, and they're like, okay, we already have a Duochrome. What do we do now? They're like, we make Duo Robin, but it's actually just Chrom, and he's even better. I'm like, please, yes, stop.
No, don't stop. Keep going. We need more.
Have,
we need more Robin alts. We need more Chrom alts. We need more Lucina alts.
No.
Like,
no.
How many people were confused me included, when that unit first came up, and I was like, oh, a sword unit. And then it's, oh wait, no, Crom was just in front with the sword.
Yeah, he's protecting young female Robin. It's so cute.
Oh my gosh.
It is very cute. All this, every year it's the same thing with this stupid child banner, and I'm always like, this theme is terrible. This theme is horrible. Like, oh my god, they're so cute. Like,
I was hoping that they would be child dual Lucina, so I could like rub it into DTM's face.
I was actually afraid of that, but like honestly, if on a specific young banner, I would have minded because like obviously she would have meant to be young in this case. We don't talk about the resplendent that shall not be named. Bringing it back to young dual Robin though, like. This is actually like legitimately legendary Crom / dual Crom, but better, in my opinion. Because like one of the main issues I've ran into when using like dual Crom is the isolation that comes whenever you use like to change fate. It just makes it really inflexible when it comes to like positioning and stuff. Now, young dual Robin doesn't give that isolation. So like even after you like do the repo, you can still like target them for assists, like do another repo, do like drag back or whatever. It's just like so much more flexible in practice. And also, it doesn't have to be repo. It could be like literally any assist. So like in some cases you might prefer swap for the minute like movement shenanigans, or like smite even, which is really funny. And something that I found out like after my reaction was that young female Robin didn't even need to like use her assist to get the action economy. Like she could just end her turn and then she could be targeted by an assist, whether that be like a movement assist or even just rally, and then they will get their extra action. And it's just like so cool. I love that design so much, and I need female brave Robin to be exactly that, but also give grand strategy.
Please don't. Jeez. No more. Let her be something completely different. We don't need any more of this insane assist nonsense. Like, it's so powerful. And, like, it's not only is that powerful, right? You get, like, all the Crom effects, but you also get, like, the scowl support, which is stupid. And then the duo skill. What were they thinking with this duo skill? They're like, okay, Rally Spectrum, broken. Dual Strike, broken. You know what would be better? We put them both together and make it, like, map wide. Like, what?
I think that's fine. That's perfect. Bring more of that.
I'm gonna get that effect and put it on like your most hated game, and then we're like, okay, DTM, how do you feel now?
On Shadow Dragon, okay. Sorry, Shadow Dragon fans.
I mean, like she's obviously very, very good. Like she's top of the meta pretty much. Like her, I feel like it's like her, Emblem Ike, and like Duo Leon are like three of the most powerful units, if not the three most powerful units, depending on the situation. But like, they're just so ridiculously overtuned, in my opinion. It's kind of insane what they can really do.
I don't think this unit is overtuned. I actually like I like the tune.
I like the tune too, and like actually no bias this time. But I don't think I don't think young female Robin is like that meta breaking or anything, to be perfectly honest. Like, yeah, like you do inflict the scowl, which is obviously really nice against like Emblem Ike, but like as you mentioned, we have like young male Robin who's the traitor. We have like ways to counteract that. The extra action is very, very powerful, but it's not something that like makes you auto lose as say like just a wailed out Omnitank that you can't dent, right? Like there are ways to like deal with that. But yeah, like I don't know. Go ahead.
It promotes smart gameplay, which is something you talk about a lot.
Yes. Like you can't just like auto win. You have to actually like play with young female Robin well in order to actually succeed. And the expressiveness in terms of skill by doing that, I think is just like super, super cool. It's why I like using Future Vision a lot with Valentine's Lucina. It's just like, it feels really, really satisfying.
I just feel like the recent units have been like so mechanically more powerful than the older units is kind of outstanding, right? Like imagine if this Robin would have came out like, I don't know, like October last year, how much how much game wrecking she would have been, right? I think the thing that keeps her in check, in my opinion, is probably Ike and Leon and like a few other units. Like the power scale has just gone really, really high when it comes to like what these units can do, right? Like Leon turning off an enemy team, Robin just being like insanely versatile. I think that's the number one thing. It's like versatility, and like you mentioned, right? Like versatility isn't straight power. It's an expression, right? Like an expression of your skill. And so when you see her with a person who knows how to use her correctly, she looks broken. But if you use her with somebody who doesn't know how to use her well, it's just like Duo Chrom 2 essentially.
Right. Yeah.
Which is still good. Which is still really good.
What about Emmeryn? Like, we've talked a lot about young people Robin, but honestly, I think Emmeryn is being pretty slept on right now.
I don't think anyone got her. Like, I don't know if it's I'm being biased, but like, I haven't seen that many people with her.
I put Emmeryn in the neat category more than anything else, and that's I mean that makes it sound like I'm giving her a lower value than I am. I think she's a very good unit. I don't think she is. The problem is her main use case would be Aether Raid's offense, right? I mean that's really probably where you're going to see her most. Although I have seen some really interesting theory crafts for defense. I don't think this is a Summoner Duels unit. You're probably not going to see her in Arena. So you have so many options now on Aether Raid's offense that she's not. I mean, you guys have talked about it before. It ends up in that win more category.
Right.
That being said, I mean, really neat. Like, this is a unit that if you have a one-off, you're probably using her, and she's probably a lot of fun. I do wish I had her the Magic Plus assist there, because you said, I think that's really interesting, and that's apparently has some unique AI rules that Penrost is supposed to explain to me.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she's really cool. And I think if Mer didn't exist, where we had like such a strong anti-warping unit in the game, I think she could be used in SD, because like her warping is so unique in that it gives you action economy and warping, and it's on an infantry unit, so you can run all the infantry type of support units, right? Skills.
Right.
And she hits decently hard. Like, she doesn't hit like, she's not insanely hard nuke, but she can definitely kill things. I just think right now Mer's kind of keeping her in check there. But I do think, like, when it comes to Aether Raid's offense, I've already seen some like insanely cool plays, and I'm like, man, I really want to try that. Like, it just sounds fun, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it is like seeing all those plays. It does look really, really fun. Unfortunately, like, again, I mentioned this before, but like Gale Force and more player face strats are not like the most prevalent strats when it comes to Aether Raid's offense, and even within those, like. So like that's already like a narrow like slice of consideration when it comes to like the meta, and then Emmeryn is just one option in what is like a lot of options right now for Gale Force. Yep. So like even though she's like really, really cool and powerful, she doesn't really have that like impact that you would see people like summoning all their orbs for or something like that. Magic Shield is really interesting. Penross apparently has given me the lowdown on all of the AI interactions, because apparently it's the only rally assist that doesn't obey the 5 HP rule. Emmeryn will always do Magic Shield. She won't get baited. And like, also it doesn't matter if like the unit you're targeting already has buffs, because Magic Shield has like the neutralized penalty effect that she can also grant. And so like even if you have like all buffs, you could still have the Magic Shield with that. And like I have seen Penross Aether Raid's defense videos. Hopefully there will be more, because I'm really interested to see how that does in Aether Raid's defense, because I think that will be really, really cool. But yeah, it's really interesting. Emmeryn as a unit, I think we're just beginning to see like what she can do.
I'll be honest, when I first read it, I thought that it was like a dance assist. And I was like, oh my god, healers can dance now. The game's gonna change forever. Healers are finally like good again. And then I like read it again, and I was like, oh crap.
An inheritable
Exactly.
dance. Oh my god, that would have been insane.
I was talking about it for like 15 minutes in my video, and then I realized I had to delete all of it and go back. I was like, great.
I mean, one thing that this assist is a 400 SP assist. So like you can actually use healers in arena now and not like score terribly. So like, who knows? Maybe we'll see like infantry healers in arena pretty soon. Because like healing is nice in arena, right? I mean, I don't know, but no.
I hate dazzling staff in arena. Don't do that, please.
Okay, never mind. I see.
You and your flash effects, TTO.
I mean, honestly, how many folks enemy phase in arena right now?
Probably not many. Yeah.
Unless
you have Ike. If you have Ike, then yeah, you just throw them out there.
It's really hard. The nukes are so strong now. You almost have to player phase, and that's the healing is better for an arena when you're talking about enemy phase solutions. So, I mean, if you have that, if that's working for you, for one thing, leave it down in the comments, and I would love to hear what your setup is. Like no sarcasm there. I really would love to hear that. But yeah, for anyone who's doing that, definitely go get that skill and go get you a healer. That's an excellent thing for whoever's enemy phasing in arena right now.
Yeah. I guess we have to wait and see if that shift happens. It'll be very interesting. And yeah, like again, like this entire Awakening banner was just like a huge joy for me. So I'm really happy that it happened. It was so well. We have one other banner. Oh, go ahead. Actually,
before we move on, I want to take a little bet real quick. So let's all let's all make our choice right now. What is next year's kid banner going to be, right? Because every year I say Shadows of Valencia, and it's never Shadows of Valencia. So I'm going to say it one more time. It's Shadows of Valencia next year, 100%, definitely. What do you guys think?
3 houses.
I was about to say yes. It's gonna be 3 houses.
That's what I'm afraid of. It's gonna be Duo Dimitri, and I'm gonna cry literally like on screen.
We're gonna have Duo Dimitri with Baby Felix and Baby Sylvain.
Stop! I will literally cry.
Baby Felix will be the GHB.
Oh my god! Please, IS, do not do that, please.
Yeah, all right. I guess we'll lock in our bets now. Shadows of Valencia versus 3 houses. I guess we'll come back to this on the April podcast afterwards and see who's going to owe us something. Anyways, we did have the Fates banner. That is the last banner that we've had. I'm not gonna lie. I think I speak for all of us here. I don't think this Fates banner was that particularly interesting, to put it nicely.
It was the most easy. When the Sheeta banner came out, I was like, this is a skip banner, right? Like Sheeta's very good, and she has like Guard Echo, which is cool. So I was like, this is a skip banner. You can skip this. But when the Fates banner came out, I was like, no, this is an actual skip banner. Holy crap! There's like nothing here.
It kind of says something, and I felt this universal sigh of relief from the community when they're happy that it's a skip banner. That was interesting, and I kind of think it points to what kind of times we're playing the game in right now. But it felt like everyone was very relieved.
Absolutely. Every comment I saw was like, thank God it's a skip banner.
I mean, unfortunately, Theron and Pretty couldn't skip this. They are now suffering an orb that with their plus and Azuras now. So, I mean, but hey, they have Attuned Azura, which is actually the interesting unit, I'd say, of this batch. Not necessarily because of Azura, but because of Mercy Wing Echo. We have a WOM Echo skill. Unfortunately, it's not WOM 4. It is WOM 3, which is definitely a lot more restrictive. Unfortunately, excuse me, like, I feel like most players would be better served getting WOM 4 over this, like, Mercy Wing Echo and having some other B skill. Like, as I thought about it, I was like, there's not really that many B skills that would, like, change things too much to go over, like, WOM 4, right?
Well,
think
B skills that aren't preference skills.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. I think the biggest problem is like the units who really want this all have preference skills. And it's
Yes.
like, dang, man, I would really love this on my dancers. I would really love this on Brave Marianne. Like, there's so many units I'd love this on, but like it's not worth giving up your preference skill. And I'm like, okay, well, that kind of sucks.
Right. I mean, I guess you could like ditch the preference stances from units like Peony and Plumeria to run this, and I don't know, run like a dance B skill or something like that. But yeah, in general, I agree. Like, there's just making X skills not usable by those with preference skills a mistake.
In some ways, I think so. Like, I feel like it's more free-to-play friendly because it makes it so that, like, units who don't have preference skills can have, like, this other option. But at the same time, like, we have attuned heroes, right? Like Sheeta, right? Attuned Sheeta has a preference skill, she has a preference weapon, and she has an echo skill. So now it just makes it so, like, attuned heroes are, like, 6 stars, like duos were, right? Like, it's like, okay, they have exceptions. They have, like, they get to break the rule. And so it feels kind of bad, right? Because you really would like an echo skill in all your favorite units.
And just to pile on to what you just said, and you can fodder them and still keep them.
Exactly.
That's just like cherry on top there.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of funny because like I think if you like have the discourse of people talking about like what do you want your favorite character to be, like it's changed over time. Like back in the day, it was like, oh, I want my favorite to be a legendary or whatever, right? And then I was like, oh, now like rearm is pretty cool. That'd be kind of interesting. And then now it's like, oh, everybody wants their favorite to be an attuned hero because you get everything you want and more.
So you're saying there's a chance for a tuned Lucina. That's what you're saying, right?
She just got rearmed. Like, you Awakening fans.
Lucina deserves it. I think we can all agree. Like, those in the comments, like, type 1 if you agree with me.
I would like Nephany or Titania, please. That would be great. I don't know how likely that is, but
I guess, like, what units would actually appreciate Mercy Wing Echo, and like what are some actual like good options for that X skill?
I mean, it's like almost all Gale Forcers, I think. Like the ones that came to my mind immediately were like Fallen Edelgard and Valoria were like two of the big ones. Maybe like Garrick if you're trying to use him. Like Garrick's very good support for like Gale Force stuff, like kind of stuff like that. But
attuned Peony and attuned Triandra.
I mean, right.
Actually, true.
I guess they can use it. Oh, yeah. More things to give to you.
Just to hammer in that point even more.
Yes.
I know, jeez. But I guess did either of you pull on the spinner?
No.
I just did tickets, and so I actually got lucky and I got Azura, and she's good. Like, I mean, she's definitely good, but like, I don't know about UDTM, but like I know Joel's been playing since day one, and like historically Azura has been like the dancer, right? Every time a new Azura comes out, you get some kind of crazy nonsense, right? Like original Azura was just the dancer, and then you got like PA Azura who actually could buff while dancing, and then you got legendary Azura who just broke the game for a little while. And I feel really underwhelmed with this Azura. I feel like she's like not bad, but like doesn't have like that it factor where I'm like, oh man, Azura as a dancer, yeah, that's what I want. You know what I mean? Like she just feels like, yeah, she's good.
The other problem we're having is archetype saturation. Like during each of those Azura releases, that was, I mean, even performing arts, people forget that before that performing arts, there were 2 dancers that were in the 4-star pool. And I think there were a few that, anyway, there weren't that many dancers. And I remember going hard on that banner just so I could have dancers for Arena Assault because I wanted 1 dancer per team.
100%. I remember doing the exact same thing.
Like that's funny, but anyway, we've come this far that now I'm even starting to look at Peony and Plumeria and saying, well, I mean, yes, they're still amazing, and if you're telling a new player to get a new mythic, then definitely go for those. But they're starting to show a little bit like there are moments where you'd want someone else in that spot. Whereas when they first came out, there was no question. Like there were people who had 2 of those units, and they had those merged up to +10, and that was your team for every one of these. So
100%. Yeah.
We got a lot of options.
Crazy. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how far dancers have come and how powerful they can really be. And so like when you see this Azura who like has like what, she has like no follow-up and no panic as support, I believe. And then she also has the dance, of course, that gives the extra movement. And you see that, and you're like, that's okay. Like, that's kind of crazy we've come that far. Where, like, you could see something like that, and it's not that big a deal. You know what I mean?
Well, no, think about the attuned skill. Like, think about giving out Wings of Mercy, and even a year ago, we would have been like, what? You can give Wings of Mercy? Now we're like, I mean, we have Wings of Mercy 4.
Right. That's what they should have done. They should have made it so that, like, when you dance, it gives Wings of Mercy to all your allies within a certain amount of spaces. That would have been insane.
That would have been super cool, actually.
Death 2 moment.
I'd be so down for that. Like, the only really place where that would be useful is Aetherite's offense, really. Mm-hmm. And, like, I don't know, that would be a huge boon, in my personal opinion.
That'd be cool, yeah.
I mean, like, as it stands now, like, there's just very few use cases for this Mercy Wing Echo. Like, you can, like, run, like, I don't know, tempo, trace, probably some other skills. Like, I mentioned the Beast B Fallen Edelgard build to allow for turn 1. We can have, like, flyers with, like, those aerial acrobatics and stuff. But in general, yeah, like, it's super, super niche. Like, most players, I think, that are using Gale Force are used to the leniency of WOM 4. So it's going to be more of a struggle to, like, go back to the adjacency requirement.
It's tough to go back. I have seen the light, and I never want to use Wings of Mercy 3 again.
I still use a lot of Wings of Mercy 3, so it's not the biggest deal to me, but, like, just not being able to use it on the units I want to kind of, like, kills it for me. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I wish Azura herself, I really wish she had slaying and special acceleration built into her weapon. Like, I really, really wish she had that. The fact that she doesn't have that just makes it so that, like, she's a subpar Gale Forcer. So
yes.
I'm like, okay, like, where am I going to really use her at? Like, the Kanto's cool, don't get me wrong, but, like, it's not good enough where I'm like, okay, I'm going to, like, I'd rather use a dancer who has, like, a one-hit Gale Force.
They didn't have to do that much, and it wouldn't have made her broken to make her a good Gale Force unit. Like, I think that was a missed opportunity. They were really scared that they were going to create another Azura, and so they they definitely went light on that weapon. Like, they needed to do better on that. That's a little disappointing.
Yeah, when I got to the bottom and it was like plus $5 stats, I'm like, where's the rest of it? And there's not. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Hold on, it'll scroll.
Right, I was like, where's the true damage? And like,
the Prince Zuko moment. Where's the rest of it?
Oh man.
Yeah.
But
speaking
I
of
guess the other characters on Fates, I mean, who's the other one? What's his name? I can't remember.
Yukimura.
Yeah.
He seems interesting, but I don't know. Do you think there's like a place where he could actually fit effectively?
No.
Not at this current moment. Like, I could see
that's the chase. Nah.
Yeah. I mean, if there are ways to make his combat a lot better, I think there are ways to, like, get him easily slotted in. But as of this current moment, like, I just don't see it personally. Like, he would need to be on, like, I don't know, Nabaton and Green's levels of, like, power to, like, be, like, slotting in or something. Yeah.
He is a cool mount, though. Very cool sprite.
It is really cool. Yes.
The art. I mean, loved the sprite art. I thought they did an amazing job with that, which made it even more disappointing. Like, that's like, oh, it's such a great sprite, but the unit is okay.
Yeah, Mozu's here though. Like, we finally got Mozu for all the Mozu fans. That's neat.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think she's very usable. Mozu's very usable. Like that.
Yeah, she is.
I feel like that's kind of the theme of this banner, though. These are usable units, but I mean that's about it.
Are they though?
Right.
Are they? No, they probably are.
And the thing is, the Fallen banner is next, and we all know.
Yes.
Historically, the Fallen banner is always a big banner. So like, if you're not an ultra hardcore Fates fan, like, it's really a very easy skip in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who are y'all expecting to see or would like to see in the Fallen banner?
I think that's two different questions, right? Because, like, who do I want to see? I want to see, like, Fallen Risk. Who are we going to actually get? We're going to get, like, Fallen Engage, like 95% in my opinion. At least
agree.
Two of the heroes are going to be Fallen Engage.
Actually, I agree on both counts. People generally think that we're joking when we say Fallen Risk. Like, I still have to point out Risk's Cypher art and say, no. This is a real thing, and it's amazing.
The thing is too, like they can make that like a GHB unit or whatever, like a Tempest Trial unit, and people would love that. Like that would be like one of the biggest gifts they could give to like it would just make memes naturally. Like,
Yep.
I think they should just do it, to be honest. Like,
They should. Maybe they're just holding it out for like a special day or a rainy day or something to
They
generate.
just don't like money.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
don't like money. That's
How have we still not gotten to a Splendid Camilla? Like, actually.
right. Little bit of a side tangent, but they did sell. They're gonna sell one floret. So they finally are starting to appeal to us whales. Thank you.
Yes. All you whales are happy for your one floret now.
Right, now sell me like 10 more and I'll be more happy.
I saw one use on that, and I was like, man, yes, that was a missed opportunity there.
Me and Kernakos were like, how many uses? I'm like, 1. I'm like, 10. It was like 5. I want to buy all of them. Oh,
That's the true way to get whales. Like, just give them floret packs.
oh, dude. If they just sold me like packs with like an okay amount of orbs, and it was just florets and dragon flowers, I'd just buy all of them. I'd buy so many.
Yeah, that's how you actually get the whales. So you know what to do, IS, if you need like more profits for your quarterly reports or something.
Emergency funds.
Yeah.
But they've always known what to do. I mean, this again, they just hate making money.
True.
I guess,
think
yeah.
There's like so much way to make money off this game they just don't take advantage of. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, they will definitely make a bunch of money, like, hopefully, like, with this Fallen banner. Like, I definitely expect, like, Engage, especially, like, Fallen Alir and Fallen Veil, I think would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
We might get some from other games as well. We already had Anankos, right? So maybe we get, like, Fallen... oh, shoot. What's that person's name? I can't remember.
From Fates? Oh, Scarlet?
Yeah, Scarlet. I'm so sorry, Scarlet fans. You're already denied on this banner now. Okay.
The Fates hater remembered. Just remember that.
Okay, I have the excuse that I have not played Fates. So
Fair.
yeah.
Do you guys think there will be some like Alir fatigue if they do Fallen Alir, just because we've gotten so many Alirs lately? Like,
I don't think they're gonna do Fallen Alir. I definitely think Fallen Veil is coming our way though.
Yeah, I think they'll
They do
save
Fallen
Fallen
Lumera.
Alir for
next year.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they do Fallen Lumera, I'm gonna be pissed though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you will see that reaction. I will be pissed. We have got too many Lumeras already. We don't need any more Lumeras. Stop. It's gonna be the same clothes too. They're gonna just have like purple flames around her. It'll be the exact same sprite with just purple flames, and I will be so angry.
The pigpen animation.
Oh man, I'll never forgive them for not giving us Athos and Sephiroth.
Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
The other thing, I would love to see Fallen Nurgle. Please give me Fallen Nurgle.
Yes.
I would love that so much. Oh my god.
Yeah. Nurgle we still haven't gotten, so we could get it in this Fallen banner. There are a lot of candidates I think that would be really cool, so
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. We also did get the refines with Fallen Julia, which I've heard a lot about, even though I don't know, for me like this refined batch was just like okay, but I heard like a lot of discussions on like Fallen Julia specifically. But like, what are your thoughts on these refines?
I think overall it was a really solid batch, right? Like, I mean, everybody except for Lilith, I think, got like a really good
Oh
refine.
my gosh.
Not like meta defining or changing, but like all of them were very solid and usable within what they want to do, right? And I think Julia just stands out because she's so anti-meta, with the sabotage and deep wounds effects, which are like very, very good currently. And so I think that is great. The only problem I have with Fallen Julia is that everything is resistance based. And so if you don't have an invested Julia, right, or like the proper build, you're gonna miss a lot, essentially, I guess is the best way to put it, right? Like you need like Stillwater 4, you want Stillwater or like Phantom Res in the seal. And then even then, the other problem is that she might miss her like nuking capabilities too, right?
Yes.
Like because she is kind of slow.
And
So she's kind of reliant on like a guaranteed follow-up attack. So I think she's very good. I just don't think she's like at that level where like she's like a slap into every Ether Raid's defense or something like that.
I think you said it perfectly. Like it is, you have to sell out in order to get the full effect of her support.
Right. Yeah. It is cool though. It's very nice. I'm glad to see that they gave her some love because it makes me have hope for like Ike and Leon.
Yeah, it is really cool. I'm still so disappointed with Lilith though. Like, really? Like, you literally just needed one effect, and it was like Canto 1. That was it. That's all you needed to do, and it would have been like good enough for me. But no, like, they didn't. It's like so frustrating. Like, I don't know. Hopefully Fallen Lilith will be better. We'll see.
I think George also got a really, really good refine. That again, my video, I put him as the best refine in the batch, and I think I was the only one that did that out of all the videos I saw. I think people are kind of underestimating how good his support is. Like, you're effectively getting like plus 10 attack defense and 5 resistance, which is like an absolute ridiculous amount of stats if you don't need speed. And you also get like Hexblade and special acceleration. Like it's quite a bit of effects. Oh, and guaranteed bulb attack. Like, he's like kind of built for Ike, which is kind of hilarious.
I mean, my issue with like George was that like all those effects are nice, but they're not like something that is irreplaceable through other means. Because like the biggest problem with George is that you have to run George. It's not like wow. I mean, it's true. I mean, like, it's not like someone like Hortensia that can give you like sabotage and like Canto 1 and like things that like are still really hard to like give out. Like, no follow-up or special acceleration is like on pledge or like a lot of supports. Hexblade is not like the most important thing for like a tank, to be perfectly honest. And then yeah, like, I don't know, it's just he does have a lot of good supports, but it's not like nothing that's like a killer app, right? That you would like slot him in for.
I feel like he fits like a niche though, which is like the Altina and Ike niche essentially. Like, they are slow, and because they're so slow, these are the effects they want, right? Like, Altina doesn't have a guaranteed follow-up attack, so being able to quad against all these units who don't have full null fall is really good. And like, all the stats are really nice. Hexblade is really good on Ike because Ike only gets to hit once typically, and so being able to have adaptive damage is really, really nice. And then with he also gives out guaranteed follow-up attack, which does give a chance for Ike to double. So like, I feel like he is very niche, and he's not as universally powerful as something like Hortensia, but I think he fits better into like slow builds. I think we've also seen this with Ashnard, where Ashnard has been actually like really, really up on the rise right now because of his unique support that works really good with slow units. And so that's why like he works so well with Altina, Ike, and Duo Asker now even. So I think it's kind of cool that we have supports that are so specialized, I guess, that you can actually use them on teams, but only with specific units.
I think the piece that people are sleeping on is the crux. The guaranteed follow-up is people are so used to. I mean, even a year ago, every unit had full no follow-up, and that's not the case at all right now.
Right.
I have crux on my attuned peony, and I cannot believe what a difference that makes in just Gale Force clears alone, but also in other stuff as well. Like, it is kind of crazy. Like, I've put that with Ike, and it is ridiculous how much more killing power, which is a little weird to say with him, but there are definitely times where he doesn't quite get there. Yep. And one more hit, and it just, boom, goes the dynamite.
Exactly. That's exactly what I feel like. Like, him, it's really cool. I think I like it, I guess, personally, like, because like, you do get those supports we've had so long that are just universal supports for like legendary Elliewood and stuff, where like, okay, it's just bonus doubler. Everybody loves bonus doubler. But then you get these supports who like really fit into these unique little niches, which is cool to me. And they're all Tellius characters. So I guess that's probably also why I like them so much.
I do like the niches, like the supportive niches. Like, that is really cool. And it's funny that like they're all within Tellius, like Ike, Altina, George. Starting a theme team here, I see. Can't wait for it. Duo Micaiah, yep. I'm planning on using Duo Micaiah with like Emblem Ike for one of my SDS teams, because apparently she's like really good now. And when I used her in Arena during that one bonus season, I was like, wow, she like kills everything, debuffs everything. So it's going exciting times for Tellius fans. You finally get your wish Oblivion.
I'm like, I have a Binding World still available. I haven't been able to make my choice yet because I have like used friend Corn, but I also have like a Duo Makai with like Layered Sparrow and a Cultist Strike, and I'm like, ooh, that's kind of juicy. Yeah, I'm gonna get that.
Yeah. I still hasn't sold multiple, like, what was it called? The Otherworldly Bonds?
Right.
Yeah.
Come on, IS, get that money.
But yeah, I guess before we end it off, we have been speaking over for an hour or so. I guess, like, with this upcoming Fallen banner, with the new Emblem Ike, we've sort of gotten, like, specifically with the Emblem Heroes, I think we've gotten, like, sort of a pattern with, like, how the units themselves are implemented, if not, like, the schedule of these units. Like, their engage skill is, like, an inheritable skill. Their actual emblem ring effect is something, I guess, thematic or something like that. What potential future emblems are you, like, potentially seeing IS happen in, like, 3 months from now, basically?
Interesting question, because they're obviously not going in order, right? Like with Ike,
right.
We've figured that out. They're not going in order. It's kind of weird to see, because 3 months away, we don't really have like the exact lineup yet to see what color it would be. But I do feel like they're saving Sigurd for like the remake. I don't know if that's like some crazy copium, but I feel like that's gonna happen. Like they're gonna drop the remake and like, here is Emblem Sigurd, right? Like it's just a good promotional idea, which means maybe they won't do it because IS is really bad at advertising. But maybe that, I don't know when that would happen though, right? That could be in 3 months. It could be like at the end of the year. It could be next year. Other than that, I don't know. Like I feel like they keep swinging back between tanks and nukes, right? Like at the beginning of last year, we got a lot of crazy tanks, and then we got crazy nukes at the end of the year. So if they do that again, maybe we get like Celica, and maybe she's a crazy nuke, or maybe she's all warping. I don't know. But I am afraid. Like I feel like Emblem Rings have proven to be really, really powerful. So I am afraid to see what's to come. I'm also excited. Like they really are cool. But as you can see with Ike, right? Like look how much the meta changed overnight almost. Like tanks have like just resurfaced in a big way.
That's the power of these things. I'm very curious. I'm gonna lean with warping on Celica, but there are so many interesting things they could do. Like, what if Veronica actually put out a decoy unit?
Oh God! Imagine that in SD. Gotta kill both of us. Both you put out a decoy, and then you have to take care of it before the fight starts.
That would be super funny though. Like,
but
genuinely.
I mean,
Gotcha within
think about
the gotcha.
Think about it in terms of AI. Like
right.
on Aetherraid's offense, like that suddenly it just completely turns things on their heads. I'm still holding out for Tiki turning units into a dragon. No one can tell me that's gonna be different. I don't care. It's gonna happen. I want my Sharena dragon, so don't crush my dreams.
I just thought of something. Like, what if Celica gave out like warping on her ring, but it had pass built into it? That would be really good. They should do that.
Yeah.
They should. Yes. Oh my goodness. Please. We need to.
Please.
Yes. We need to end the warp bubble meta. Like, that needs to die right now.
Pop the warp bubble.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. But yeah, I guess before we end it off, is there anything else that you want to mention before we sign off?
So much copium going into what will be the Fae channel coming in 2 to 3 weeks. I can't even tell you the amount of things I want on that and the amount of things that won't be on that. So I'm trying to temper expectations.
Okay, I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna hype everybody up, and then everyone's gonna get mad at me. So it's gonna be great. So this is what's gonna happen, everyone. Right? We haven't gotten a Nintendo Direct this year, so we're gonna get a Fire Emblem Nintendo Direct. They're gonna announce the remake. We're gonna get Emblem Sigurd for free if you buy the game. He's gonna be amazing. And then the whole meta is gonna change. We're gonna get a new game mode based off the remake. It's gonna be fantastic. Everyone get excited.
I mean, I'm here for it. Like, I'm already excited.
I want to get like 28 comments. Never happened.
Never mind about tempering expectations. It's go the Oblivion route.
Yes. Watch like the remake just be like late next year Christmas or something.
Oh my god. I honestly don't understand how they haven't announced it yet. Like, I feel like the leaks we've got were very credible, and like somehow they just have not. It's not come together yet.
I think it's going to be next year.
Yeah, I think they might wait for like a Switch 2 or something.
Right.
Yeah. It's like next March or April probably. Then.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah. But on that happy note, thank you all so much for watching the podcast where we try to lift all of our spirits up with the amazing news that's forthcoming. Thank you so much, Oblivion and Joel. Always amazing to have you on, as always. And yeah, let us know down in the comments what your favorite new addition to FEH this past month was. What's your thoughts on Emblem's Ike and his ring and his effect on the meta? And yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed this. I guess I'll do my little spiel here because I can, but be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, not only to my channel, but to Joel's and Oblivion's channel as well. The link will be in the description down below. And we're so close to 3K subs. Like, we're really, really close, less than 10 subs away. So I would really do appreciate any subscribers. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed this and see you all next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.